Shri Gurubhyo Namaha children. I welcome you all to our online learning initiative Ekalaiva. And today in this video we are going to start with our new unit, that is unit 9 in 12th CBSE NCERT biology. Okay. So actually that unit covers a new topic, okay, a new field of science which is called biotechnology. Okay. So this unit actually it comprises of 2 chapters. Okay, we are going to start with our first chapter, which is nothing but the principles and processes used in biotechnology. Okay, first we'll see what is this biotechnology. Okay, so this biotechnology is nothing but combination of 2 fields, that is biology with technology. Okay, that is together we are calling it as biotechnology. Okay, so what is this biology? Okay, you all know that biology is the science of living organism. Okay, the study of living organisms, we used to call it as biology. Okay, whereas technology, okay, technically applying our knowledge, that is technology. Okay, so technology, practical application of scientific knowledge. Okay, so practically we are going to apply our scientific knowledge to produce some new things. Okay, that is actually biotechnology. So biotechnology is the use of technology, okay, use of technology in manipulation of living organisms. We are going to manipulate the available living organism to get some benefits from that organism. Okay, that field of science we used to call it as biotechnology. So biotechnology is the use of technology in the manipulation of living organism to do practical things and provide useful products. Okay, so it is giving so much of benefits to humankind from the available fields. Okay, so now it is there, this biotechnology. When you see, okay, various fields are there where our biotechnology is having its impact. Okay, you can see it is there. Okay, it is having its impacts right from the unicellular organisms to the multicellular organisms. Okay, right from the plants to the animals. So you can see, okay, what are all the various fields where this biotechnology is having its impact. Okay, so this is our biotechnology. So biotechnology deals with the techniques of using live organisms or enzymes produced in that organisms to produce products and processes useful to humans. Okay, so that is actually biotechnology, and this word biotechnology, okay, it was coined by Carl Erke in the year of 1919. Okay, so this biotechnology, okay, it is having some advanced impact in the field of science. Okay, so European Federation of Biotechnology, that is EFB, okay, they may be asking this expansion, okay, in 1 mark question. So this EFB, it defined this biotechnology as the integration of natural science and the organisms. Okay, integration of combining these 2 things. Okay, natural science and the organism, or else the cells of living things, and molecular techniques, analogs. Okay, what are all the tools available in molecular biology? Okay, so all those things integrated for products and services. So this is the definition given by EFB for this biotechnology. Okay, so it can be asked in 2 mark question. Okay, now next we are going to talk about the principles of biotechnology. What are the 2 main principles of biotechnology when you see? Okay, it is the first one is genetic engineering. Okay, the first principle is genetic engineering, engineering our genes. Okay, doing something with our genes. So the techniques to modify the chemistry of genetic material. Genetic material, okay, mostly it is DNA, and some organisms will have, like viruses, they will have RNA as their genetic material. So the chemistry of that genetic material is modified by combining some other genes with that genetic material. So that is, we are calling it as a genetic engineering. So the first principle is techniques to modify the chemistry of genetic material and to introduce them into the host organisms. Okay, it is introduced into the host organisms like bacteria to multiply that particular gene. Okay, so host organism, this is the first principle, genetic engineering, modifying the chemistry of an organ, that is genetic material of an organism, and that genetic material has to be introduced into some host cell for its further multiplication, okay, to change the phenotypic character of that host. Then the second one is the maintenance of sterile medium. Sterile medium in the sense, okay, contamination free. Okay, when you are doing this biotechnology work and all, we'll be doing with some specific microorganisms. When we are doing that work, okay, we are very careful to avoid contamination with some other microorganisms, okay, which will prevent our desirable products to be produced. Okay, so the maintenance of sterile condition, which is nothing but the microbial contamination free condition, should be maintained, okay, to enable the growth of only the desired microbe in large quantities. So then only we can produce our product, okay, our desirable product which we decided to produce out of this genetic engineering. So these are the two main principles in biotechnology, that is genetic engineering, modifying the gene of an organism and introducing them into the host cell, and when we are growing that host cell, the sterile condition should be maintained to produce only that particular microbe. So this is about the principles of our biotechnology. Okay, before going deep into this processes and principles, okay, you have to know about some terms, terminologies. Okay, we'll see that first. The first one is the plasmid vector. Okay, what is this plasmid? When you see, you all know all the living cells have their own genetic material. Okay, in some bacteria, when you see, in addition to their chromosome, in addition to their genetic material, they will have some extra chromosomal material which are circular in shape. Okay, that extra chromosomal in the sense, in addition to chromosome, they will have an additional genetic material. Okay, so that additional genetic material we used to call it as a plasmid. Okay, why we are calling it as a vector, I'll tell you. So plasmid is a small piece of circular DNA found outside of the bacterial chromosome. Okay, actually this is the bacterial chromosome. Okay, bacteria being a prokaryote, it is not having a true nucleus, so it will be having only its genetic material which is not enclosed by a nuclear membrane. Okay, so it is having its chromosome. In addition to this chromosome, they have, okay, another extra chromosomal material, the genetic material, we will call that as our plasmid. Okay, so this plasmid can transfer genes from one cell to other cell. Because of that only we are calling this plasmid as a vector. Okay, when you see, okay, in malaria and all, our mosquitoes, they are acting as a vector. What is the need of that mosquito there? It is carrying the disease causing organism from a diseased patient to a normal person. Okay, so this transport is carried out by that mosquito. In the same way, in this genetic engineering, okay, carrying the genes from one place, that is one place in the sense from one cell to the other, we need some mode of transport, and that mode of transport is nothing but our plasmid. As they are transferring these genes, we are calling our plasmids as vector. Okay, so this is actually plasmid, and this plasmid, they are capable of autonomous replication. They can replicate by themselves. Okay, so this is about our plasmid. Okay, the next term what you are going to learn is recombinant DNA. You know what is DNA. Okay, already we have learned enough things about this DNA in our molecular basis of inheritance. So now, what is this recombinant DNA? When you see, it is the DNA molecule formed by laboratory methods. Okay, the DNA molecule formed by laboratory method of genetic recombination as a molecular cloning to bring together genetic material from multiple sources. That is, it comprises recombinant DNA in the sense combinations of many DNA, or else at least two different DNA. That is recombinant DNA. Okay, so the recombinant DNA It is a DNA molecule formed by laboratory methods of genetic recombination to bring together genetic material from multiple sources, creating a sequence that is very new and which is not found in any other genome, because it is a new combination. So this new combination of gene, DNA, we used to call it as recombinant DNA. So this picture is showing, okay, actually. So this is our plasmid, okay, a normal plasmid. That is plasmid also, it is a DNA, a circular DNA, that's it, okay. This circular DNA, it is combined with some other gene here, okay, it is combined with some other gene here. So this is one DNA, for example, this is DNA 1, and this gene, a segment of DNA, we used to call it as gene, okay. So this is from the next DNA. So these two DNA, they are combined, okay. So when it is combined, okay, it is actually a combination of two DNA, okay. This DNA, we will call it as a recombinant DNA. Is that clear, children? So this is called recombinant DNA, okay. The next one, we are going to see about cloning, okay. Already in asexual reproduction method, you have learnt about clones. So what are clones? Genetically identical cells, okay, a group of individuals, we can call it as clones, okay. So now here in this biotechnology, so the process of producing those clones, we used to call it as cloning. And here in biotechnology, cloning refers to the processes used to create copies of DNA fragments, okay, identical DNA fragments are produced. This method we used to call it as cloning here, okay. So it might be sometimes cells can be produced, so where we are calling it as cell cloning, and organisms can also be produced. Those organisms are genetically identical, of course. So this is cloning. The next one, the next term what we are going to see is restriction endonuclease, which is very important in this genetic engineering, okay. So this restriction endonuclease, okay, it is actually called as molecular scissors. What is the purpose of scissor? To cut something, we will be using our scissor, and the scissor which is used to cut our DNA, we used to call it as restriction endonuclease, okay. It is an enzyme. Restriction endonuclease, it is an enzyme which comes under the group called nuclease, okay. So nuclease, so this enzyme which is present in the bacteria that can recognize a specific base sequence, okay. It can, each and every enzyme will have their own specific sequence which they can recognize and where they can make that cut, okay. So this recognition sequence, okay, we used to call them as a recognition sites. We can call it as recognition sites and cut in that particular site, okay. So those enzymes which are cutting this DNA, we are calling it as a restriction endonuclease. And the last one is nothing but about DNA ligase. This is also an enzyme only, okay. So this DNA ligase, restriction endonuclease, they are molecular scissors, and this DNA ligase, that is our molecular glue, okay. What is the purpose of glue? Pasting something. So the restriction enzyme is cutting the DNA into fragments, and this DNA ligase pasting that fragments, okay. For that purpose only we are using this DNA ligase. So DNA ligase, the enzyme seals the ends of single stranded DNA fragments, okay. See, these are the important terms what you should know before learning the concepts of biotechnology, okay. So next we are going to see the discovery of first recombinant DNA, okay. So for the first time, this recombinant DNA, it was found by two scientists, okay. It was actually prepared by these two scientists, that is S. Gohan and H. Boyer, okay. These two scientists, they have prepared this first recombinant DNA by using the genetic material from two bacteria that is E. coli and Salmonella typhimurium. So what they have prepared, when you see, they have taken the antibiotic resistance gene present in the plasmid of E. coli. Okay. 2 DNA I told you. A piece of DNA is taken from E. coli and that particular gene, that particular segment of DNA is responsible for producing or providing the resistance against antibiotics. Okay, when that particular bacteria is having that antibiotic resistance gene, even when we take that antibiotic cannot kill that bacteria. That is the speciality of this particular antibiotic resistance gene. Okay, so this antibiotic resistant gene is there in E. coli, and the plasmid vector, the native plasmid, is taken from the second bacteria called Salmonella typhimurium. So this plasmid and the gene from the E. coli combine together to, so this combination we can call it as a rDNA, that is recombinant DNA. So this is the first prepared recombinant DNA. Okay, we'll see how they have prepared it. So this is actually the diagrammatic representation of Cohen and Boyer's work. They have taken, okay, this is a piece of gene which has taken from the E. coli, okay, that is, which is having this antibiotic resistance. Okay, it is having that antibiotic resistance, and the native plasmid has been taken from Salmonella. So two combinations, that is two genes, different gene. A gene for antibiotic resistance is taken from E. coli, and the native plasmid of Salmonella is taken, and these two things together, okay, that is, they are treated with the same restriction enzyme. Okay, this RE stands for restriction enzymes. They are treated with the same restriction enzyme. It is very important to treat both the genes with the same restriction enzyme, then only they will have a complementary ends to get attached. Okay, so we'll see about this in our next video. So now these two genes are treated with restriction enzyme, and then with the help of DNA ligase, already we have seen what is the purpose of ligase, to combine that fragments of DNA. It is combined, so which has been called recombinant DNA. Okay, it is the DNA from two different sources, that is E. coli and Salmonella. Then this recombinant DNA, as such, when you keep, there is no use, it has to be multiplied. The copies of the DNA has to be produced, and it can be produced by introducing them into the host cell, okay, which is of same bacteria, that is E. coli. Okay, and we cannot say that when it is introduced all the bacteria will take our recombinant DNA. Few bacteria, they will take this recombinant DNA, which we are calling them as a transformants. That is, transformants are nothing but the bacteria with our rDNA, and here this bacteria is not having that recombinant DNA, so that we can call them as non-transformants. Then these transformants and non-transformants, that is, transformants are selected from the non-transformant by using some suitable culture method. Okay, we'll see about in our next videos. Okay, so these transformants are selected and they are multiplied properly to produce enough numbers of copies of this DNA, so that we can use this rDNA, will be producing some useful product. Here the useful product is nothing but the antibiotic resistance. Okay, so this is how for the first time the recombinant DNA has been prepared by Cohen and Boyer. Okay, in our next video we will meet with in detail about the restriction enzymes. Thank you, children.